Hello.
So,
Welcome. Welcome to Drone Wars on Open Shutter.
It's the catchiest that we could think of.
It's everybody.
been used
Anybody
before.
else hearing themselves, or is just me?
Nah, it's fine. Audio is fine.
Awesome. Okay, so it's probably one of my stuff here. Just I hear myself doubling. All right. Welcome to Open Shutter Live,
Hey, Randall.
and welcome to Drone Wars. Canada versus the US. Unfortunately, there's only one US guy, and actually, no, two US guys and 4 Canadians, right?
Where's Mr. Bryan James and his drone too?
Yep. All right, so
True,
we're gonna
man,
have
true.
fun today. We just want to go through drones and what the regulations are, what the laws are between the US and the Canada. We're gonna see what the differences are as well in terms of what you can do, what you cannot do. The goal is to be able to know when to fly, where not to fly, so you don't end up getting handcuffed while flying your drone, right? Because we've seen it happening a lot these days. So the whole goal is to do it, but do it safely. Know the rules, know the laws, and make sure that you're obeying the laws, you're obeying the rules at any point in time. We're also going to talk tips and tricks. We're also going to talk techniques and stuff like that. And if time permits, we're going to share some examples of our drone shots, right? So let's start with introductions. We're going to start with Mr. Bryan McGarrett.
What's up, everybody? My name is Bryan McGowan. I am from Brampton, Ontario. I'm a casual drone pilot. I'm not as serious as some of the guys here. It should be a fun show. Let's see what we got to talk about with drones. Next.
Kevin.
Oh, hey, what's up? I'm the guest. I should be last.
Yeah, you should be.
My name's Kevin Olson. I'm Instagram's Maryland drone guy. So I've been watching you guys for a little while, and it's good to have me on, talk about some drone stuff.
Yes, sir.
What's going on,
Awesome.
everybody? Andre.
Go for it, Andre.
Also from Brampton. I fly drone. I shoot everything in between, from weddings to family to light painting, steel wool. And yeah, so we're going to talk drones and what you can and can't do. And let's...
All right. Hello, everybody. Today I'm just here to learn. I'm one of the worst drone pilots ever. I have a drone I probably flew it like 2 days, and it's somewhere. I don't even know where it is. But
It's in a tree.
I'm not going to stay for long today. I just wanted to come and make sure that these kids, got everything going, and I'll be watching in the background. And you guys are in safe hands with Kevin. So one thing I would say before I have to go is, if you have your whatever pilot certification, whatever, make sure that whatever park you're flying in allows it. Individual parks have individual rules. Make sure you follow that. Otherwise, you can still be chased out of different parks. So, all right,
Yeah, man.
Paul.
Well, enjoy your trip to space.
Yes.
Just another life from space. Imagine. Yeah, thanks everyone for jumping on. This is your first time watching this show. All of us here have. Are you on YouTube too, Kevin? I can't remember.
Got on mute. Sorry, yeah, Maryland drone guy. Not as much as
On
Instagram,
YouTube?
but I'm on there.
You are,
yeah,
right?
on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah. So we all have YouTube channels, basically.
Yeah.
So we all do similar stuff, but we all do kind of different stuff. So if this is your first time watching this show, check us out. I'm pretty sure our links are somewhere in the description of this video. And yeah, I actually sold my drone, so it's gonna be. I'm eager to learn some stuff because you can't really fly much in Toronto. So it's important to know the rules because there are other people that break the rules and they kind of ruin the fun for everyone. So that's why there's so many restrictions now. So who knows what's going to happen in the future, because if people keep breaking the rules, they're just going to say drones are outright banned. Like you can't even have one. So it's important to follow the rules just so you keep the fun for everyone. So, and a big thanks to Kevin for doing this for us too. Also, side note, if you were here, like, gonna be here for the show with Andre's friend, the sports dude, that's gonna be rescheduled a future date. So
Yes.
it's not like you missed a week. Like,
no. He texted me a couple days ago, and since things are opening up,
yeah,
there are more sporting events going on. He actually got a paid gig to go to, and I said,
the nerve. You just said no.
I know, but he's shooting soccer tonight, so
fucking TFC.
I think we need to start. We need to start paying our guests.
Well,
no, he's coming back.
Don't give Kevin any ideas.
I know, right? What?
He will be back, everybody.
He'll be back.
I just need to work out his schedule a bit because he's going to be shooting the Blue Jays and all these guys too now. So
nice. We'll get him.
So yeah,
he will. Hopefully, we'll get him very soon.
Good for him, bad for us.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so let's get kick off. I think we're going to kick off by talking about the rules and regulations. And so maybe Kevin, you can start with from the US side. What do you need to be able to fly a drone, and what are the because I know there are two classifications of drones, at least the top 250 drones and then the above 250 grams drones. What are the rules in the United States, but then maybe in your state per se? What are the rules and guidelines before you can even attempt to fly a drone? What do you need to do?
Well, in the States, it's not even just about the drone, it's about the pilot too and what you're doing. So they got the sub 250 gram drones. Those don't have to be registered with the FAA, but it's also what you're planning on doing with the drone. If you're doing it for commercial reasons, you need to have a commercial pilot's license. If you're just doing it, take some pictures in your backyard, throw them up on Instagram, you don't need a commercial pilot's license. But they actually just started, it was like 2 weeks ago now, they call it the trust exam. So even if you're doing for recreation, just doing it for fun, flying in your backyard, you have to take this trust exam now.
What is that?
Even for recreational pilots, and you can't fail a test. They call it a test, but you can't fail it. Like if you get the question wrong, they'll tell you what the right answer one is. So it's just to kind of give you a familiarity, like, hey, don't go over 400 feet. Don't fly near an airport. Right. If you want to fly near an airport, this is how you get permission. So I think it's a good thing if people start to take it or not. That's up to them. But for me, I started as a recreational pilot, and then someone asked me to do a gig for them, and I'm like, I don't have my license. I can't legally do it. So this is during COVID last year. So I said, all right, I signed up for the test, and I took a study exam, took the tests. So it took about not even an hour, but so now I have my license here with the FAA. I don't know if you can see it here.
There you go. You're legit, man.
So I'm legit.
What does your card say, McLovin, though?
No, it says McLovin. That's my address on here, so I don't want to keep putting up too much. But
I love your story, man.
Name and date of birth on there. But yeah, now that I got a commercial license, I could go for hire and I could do paid gigs, and so it's been taking off for me. It's been
great story, man. I love your story. It's amazing.
But so people could get permission. People are like, oh, you can't fly near airports, and if you want to do it legally, it's very easy to get legal permission to do stuff. Like I just did a wedding a couple weeks ago, and you normally can't fly in a national park. That's like the big no-no here. But I got permission to fly in a national park because the wedding was in the national park at Harper's Ferry. So with a little bit of enough advance notice and emailing and talking to the right people, you get permission if you're doing it legally.
Yeah.
So
I
have a couple. I have a couple shots of Yankee Stadium in New York City, which is another hard thing to get. But I knew I was going to New York, so I got permission and I submitted the request like a month ahead of time, and the FAA said, "Oh, you're good to go."
What's your
just
pitch?
Don't do it. Yeah, just don't do it during a game. You can't do it during a game. So I'm like, all right, cool.
No.
So I has a couple shots.
So what do you tell them? You just say, I'm going to New York and I want to take a drone shot of Yankee Stadium. Like, is there a pitch? Is there language that you have to use?
There's two ways to do it. So like, there's an app so you could go on. I can see on my phone called Aloft, but you can pretty much go on here and there's a map and you could say, hey, I'm flying here at this time. Yeah. And you put in how long you're going to be, where you're going to be, how long you're going to be for, and usually within a couple seconds they'll give you approval.
Really?
But as far as like New York though, that was a little more complicated. So I had to go through FAA Drone Zone, submit when I'm flying. I put for the whole week because depending on weather. So I put like in a week-long permission. I said, I'm only going to be flying 400 feet. Here's my license number. I said I'm going to put anti-collision strobe lights on just in case. And then my drone actually has ADS-B, so you can detect manned aircraft. So you kind of just got to put in, you kind of know what you're talking about, and they're like, all right, you're good to go. So,
yeah.
Awesome. So, Andrea, from the Canadian side, if you want to start us off, what
Well,
are the rules?
Well, basically, we have 2 levels: a basic license, and then your advanced. Even with your basic license, yes, you can do paid gigs and things, but you're limited to the 400 feet where you can fly. In our no-fly zones, you have to have your advanced license to even be considered to fly in there. But there again, yes, you have to get permission, and I don't have my advanced yet, so I don't know the procedure 100%. But I will show a map later on of the Toronto area, and this is a map that anybody can access. It's a map that Canada's put out, and you'll understand when I go to it after about where you can and can't fly. It's very easy to follow, but there's a lot of people here that don't follow it, and it really drives me nuts. So it's
let's name names tonight, Andre. Let's name names.
I'm not going to name names, but I just want people to realize that if you're on
We're gonna have our own
Instagram,
list. We're gonna have our own list.
and you see shots of Toronto,
Yeah.
I can guarantee you 99% that person didn't get it legally. I don't know.
I know. I see you're burning up as a.
You see some dumb stuff on YouTube and Instagram. I'm like, oh my god, like.
And it hurts
I saw
guys
one
like
today.
us.
It made me cringe. I saw one today. It made me cringe. I'm like, oh my god, he's breaking so many laws right now.
Yep. Just to add to what Andrea said, also in Canada, we also have that sub 250 drones and the above 250. The sub 250 drones, you don't have to register, and you don't need a license to fly it. If you want to fly anything above the 250 grams, you need a license, and you have to register it with the Transport Canada.
Yeah.
The other thing is that all the other rules apply, whether you have 250 or sub or not. All other rules apply. The only difference is that if you want to fly the sub 250, you don't have to register and you don't need a license. Outside of that, every other drone rule applies. Where you can fly, where you cannot fly, all of that applies. So don't go out buy a drone and say it's a mini. I'm under 250 grams, so I'm gonna fly anywhere. Right?
I have.
I can also say from mine and Andre's experience, because you cannot fly in a national park in Canada, period, either, same as the US. But it's very easy to get permission from Parks Canada to fly in a park. It's free. You just have to do a little bit of paperwork, and you can get permission to fly in a national park very easily here. Andre and I have both done it.
And the nice thing about that is when you have your date set up, a park ranger actually meets you at your spot, and he's actually working as your spotter, your guide. If you run into problems with any onlookers saying, hey, you can't fly here, he's standing right there with you the whole time. And it was kind of awesome that, we're flying in this national park, getting this footage that, we can legally use. Transport Canada cannot come back on us. If they did, let's say, wanted to, we have paperwork showing that, hey, we are legal, we can fly here, we can use this footage. So it was a nice thing.
And it's super easy to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's free. So
Yep.
It didn't cost us any money. So that was a beautiful thing.
Sweet.
The Canadian license, though, it's a little bit harder than the US one. It's actually harder. You don't get answers like you do in the States, Kevin. You're gonna have to memorize everything and answer them.
The commercial test was hard. I actually took a study course, and I paid for like an actual course to take, and you got to go to a testing center, and they take your phone from you. Yeah.
Yeah, the advanced is hard here too.
Yeah,
but
the advanced is hard here,
basic,
but even the basics, sometimes you do need some guidance depending on who you are, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The questions on the basic, it was like, when am I ever going to need to know this? Flying a drone over a forest, but
And
Like,
and
I
when
don't
you,
like
when
flight
you
paths and control towers and which way the manned aircrafts are coming in and approaching the runways. And
there were questions about ISO bars and everything on the basic one.
yeah,
And it's like,
you know, weather.
I don't need to know that to fly over a forest for a 30-second video clip.
and for our advanced license, it's in 2 steps. You got to write the test, and then you need somebody to review your flight activities. So you go through a
Yeah,
flight.
you actually have to do a flight
review.
test at a flight
Yeah.
center. Yeah.
Which is good. You know, it shows your competency, and you know, it's because what people don't realize, Canada and US, you are dealing with federal law, and it's not just they do take it very seriously. So
Yeah.
I want to make that very clear. It's very serious, but have fun with it too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So in Canada, do you have different rules depending on what province you're in? Like
No.
here in the States, depending on what state you're in, you could have a whole different set of laws. Like I'm in Maryland. If I go into Virginia, it's a whole different set of rules.
It's federal here. Transport Canada governs it all.
It's weird because like in the US, the federal government controls the airspace, but the states and local governments control where you take off and launch from. So once the drone is in the air, even if it's 2 feet on the air, the FAA controls it. But where you're controlling the drone and launching and landing, the states make the rules.
Oh,
So it's you got to look up where you're going. Like if you go to Florida or you go somewhere else, you got to look up the rules there and where you can and can't launch and land from.
Man.
that makes it tougher then.
Oh yeah. But if you know ahead of time, like I don't know if you want to give me an example, but I was in Florida a couple of months ago with my brother, and I was trying to get a night shot of this Ferris wheel. It's actually on my website and on Instagram. I got this awesome night shot of this Ferris wheel in Orlando, and the security guard comes up to us like, "You can't fly a drone here." I'm like, all right, give me a second. Let me land in. I'll educate you. So then I had the rule book with me. I was like, legally in the state of Florida, you can. I pulled out my phone. I showed them the airspace maps. I'm like, look, according to the FAA, I'm legally allowed to fly here. Here's my license. I showed them my license. I showed them my registration of the drone. I said, in the state of Florida, I could fly wherever I want. And then he's like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, you can put up all the signs you want saying no drones here, but it's illegal. It's against Florida state law. And he's like, oh, okay.
Did you also take his badge too? Jeez.
Well, as a security guard, so I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. And then at the end of the day, I was on private property where the Ferris wheel was. So I'm like, all right, I'll leave your private property, no problem, but I'll go across the street and I'll get the same picture. I literally just went down the street and I got the same picture because I knew I was legally allowed. And he's like, oh, I'll call the cops. I'm like, go ahead. I'm like, I'm not breaking any laws, so go ahead.
Yeah, and that brings up one of the other rules, right? The law says in Canada, if you are flying a drone, you always need to have your pilot license, your drone registration number needs to be written on the drone somehow as well. So always make sure that you have those key stuff in case the police or someone comes up to you. You should have your license, you should have your registration number. And I think they said some maintenance records if you have
maintenance records. Jeez.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to
What
be
the
From
captain's
experience,
yeah,
from experience, local police know very little about drone laws.
they do
Very little. Most of them don't even care. Yeah. Most of the time, they're more curious and know what you're doing. They want
I'll
to
show you
watch.
this. I keep this in my bag at all times. It's the state law in Maryland.
Oh
Where I
man.
live.
Nice.
So I keep a copy of this in my bag
Is
at all
it
times. So
laminated?
anyone
You
stops me,
laminate that?
I'll take a little plastic sleeve. Like, I have it here and I print it out, and then I like have it highlighted where the specific drone things are. So I'm like,
Oh man.
I just keep it right in the sleeve of my backpack, and then no one gives me a problem. So I'm like, hey, you're gonna give me a problem? Here's the law.
Yeah.
Just read it while I keep flying.
Section 2, line 4.
That's a great idea, actually.
That's really great. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to do
I
that.
keep it in this plastic sleeve.
Look at that. Oh, neat.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. That's good.
And then I have another one for like if people start giving me a hard time, oh, you can't fly on my property. I'm like, here, just read this. And it says what the laws are. Read section 6 of this. And you're interfering with the mandate, or you're interfering with an aircraft pilot right now, and it's against federal law to interfere. And I kind of shove that in their face and say, all right, I'll talk to you when I land.
Yeah. I love it. I
All
love
you
it.
have to say is here. Read this while I land.
Yeah, that's what it says. I'm like, it says like, I'll talk to you once I land my drone safely. And
I want you on my team, Kevin. That's all I know.
And I think the last line, I think it says, if you request respectfully, I'll be happy to show you my photos. But if you don't respectfully ask me, I'm not going to show you anything.
No. now here in
I want you on my
Canada,
team.
you have to have visual line of sight of your drone at all time.
Mhm.
So all of our drones nowadays can fly kilometers away, miles away from us, and safely come back. Is it the same in the States with the visual line of sight?
That is the same in the States,
Okay.
yeah. But people, that's like the biggest one that people violate and break. And
Yes, it
I
is.
saw a video literally today where a guy flew at 10,000 feet from Philadelphia over the river into New Jersey. He's like, I want to see how far this could go. And he flew it into New Jersey from Philadelphia.
Oh my.
I don't
Oh
want to say any
my.
names because he's like a well-known YouTube guy. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's great.
And he's sitting there flying. And he's counting up. He's like, oh, 8,000 feet, 9,000 feet, 10,000 feet. I'm like, oh, man.
Going to jail. Going to jail.
That's great. Just put it out there for everybody to see.
Yeah, like if he's a big YouTube guy,
Yeah, I don't want to drop any names. This is the same guy that also got fined $190,000 by the FAA. And he's still doing dumb stuff like that. So if you heard that story, it's the same guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna Google it.
I think I know who that was.
Yeah, he just put up another video today flying from Philadelphia into New Jersey. I'm like, you don't learn your lesson.
I guess he'll be getting another fine someday.
I'm sure the FAA is watching him. If you already got a $190,000 fine, I'm sure they're still watching him.
I had my drone out yesterday for the first time in a year. I was surprised it still worked.
You see my Instagram story the other day? I made the most rookie mistake. I took my drone out for the 4th of July to get some fireworks photos, so I turned the ISO all the way up. So then I go to catch some sunset shots. I didn't even realize ISO was all the way up, and I go to look at the photos, and it's so damn it.
Yeah.
ISO was up. I'm like, crap.
That sucks.
I think we've all done that.
Yeah, I'm like, that was a rookie mistake.
I think one of the key rules here in Canada as well is that you cannot fly over people.
You've got to be
They actually
30.
changed that law in the U.S.
Now, with their basic license here, you've got to be at least 30 meters horizontally above people, cars, things like that. If you have your advanced, I think they drops down to 5 meters. So you can be a lot closer. I don't know what it is in the States, but
The States, they just changed it like a month ago, and it goes by how much your drone weighs, and then you have to have prop guards on the propellers. So if it were to drop out of the sky, it can't lacerate anyone's skin. So if you have prop guards on, and then you can start legally flying over people. Or if you have like one of the FPV drones with the Cinemoops that have the covers over the props, you can fly those over people as long as they can't lacerate the skin. So
that's good.
and you can fly over cars now. That's legal now.
like I've flown over my own car doing things and too close, but that's my own car. If I hit it, that's me. I'm at fault, so I'm going to take responsibility. But yeah, no, I don't fly over people. It's it's always tempting to, but it's like now, if something happens, it falls out of the sky, whatever. No,
and there's other rules here. Like if you're going over an event, and it's like you have to have one entrance in and out, and everyone that's coming in the event has to know there's a drone flying overhead. So you have to put some kind of sign up, and there can only be like one entrance and exit, saying, "Hey, there's a drone flying overhead." Or if the people are involved know that there's a drone there, obviously, like I've done some shoots with models and like weddings, so they knew there was a drone there. So stuff like that is legal as long as everyone knows.
Yeah, you can if you've got a crew or like a production happening, as long as everybody in the production knows it's happening. And usually in those instances, you want to have a spotter with you as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now that we know all the rules, not all of them, but at least majority of the key ones that we need to know on both the US side and the Canadian side, let's talk about techniques. I buy my first drone today, and I go out to fly. What are some of the things that I need to look out for before my first flight? I wish I had these tips coming up when I bought my first drone, because these guys will testify. I bought my first drone within 2 hours, I crashed it.
That
So
was fun.
someone in my position, you just bought your first drone. What are some of the tips that you guys will give them before the first flight and during the first flight?
Buy insurance.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you can go out with someone who's flown before,
Go
and just wide open space.
Go to big,
No
big
trees.
open
No
field.
trees.
Big soccer fields at a school. If there's nobody there, go out into the country. Go use a big farmer's field. Learn how to take off, land. How the drone's going to react when it goes forward, up, down. It comes down to practice, and you're only going to get better if you practice.
Yeah, a lot of it you just need to actually fly and develop a feeling for.
Yeah.
So it's just flight time.
Yeah. I think
and use the collision sensors to your advantage too.
Yes.
Don't put it in sport mode right away because the sport mode turns the sensors off. So keep it in the nice slow tripod mode for the beginning.
Yeah, and I think learning how to land is very key, right? That was my problem. I knew how to take off, but I couldn't land, and so I had to rely on the return to home function.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I took off from the wrong spot as well. So and so when I hit return to home, it did return home, but it went home in the middle of the trees, right? So make sure that you're not taking off under a canopy of trees.
No.
Or indoors. Take off, let your GPS position locate somewhere that is plain, so that in case you get stuck, you can hit the return to home button and land safely.
And that system works great.
Yes, it does.
And you have to change the settings too to make sure the height for the return to home is enough. You got to make sure it's above the highest tree, because you could have your return to home set at 50 feet and it'll still run into a tree. Like you got to set it for like 200 feet or whatever, so it's over the tree.
Yeah, mine's 100 meters, so around 300 feet, just so it's clear of basically anything.
Yes, that technology works. I think Bryan and I both have used it at some point, and it's very nerve-wracking.
Mm-hmm.
But when you actually see the drone come down and land within inches of where it actually took off, it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you just have to trust the technology there.
Yeah, it works well.
But saying that, that's not going to work if you take off on a boat and you're drifting, or you move your boat and you hit the return to home. It's going to go to where you took off from.
First took off, yeah.
So don't.
I've seen some YouTubers in canoes paddling like crazy.
So I don't recommend.
I'll show you the thing that I have.
I'm not saying don't do it from a boat, but just be aware that if you're drifting and the return to home kicks in, it's not going to work for you.
It's going to where you took off from.
Yes. So
this is something I bought. It's in case you do crash into the water. Because if you have insurance, you have to send the broken drone back in to get the new one. So even if it's water damage, as long as you physically have it to mail it in, you'll get a new drone back. So if it crashes in the water, if I'm flying over water, I put this on one of the legs. And what this does is it's actually made for fishing poles and stuff. So if it falls in the water, this is like pressure sensitive, and the top will fall off, and this will float to the top, and there's fishing line that comes off. So your drone will sink to the bottom, but this little thing up top will float on top. So at least you could grab this little floaty thing and pull your drone back up. And yeah, it's ruined. But you can pull the memory card out, and then you could just send the drone back for the repair insurance claim.
And what is that? What is that called?
Get her back. Let's see, where is it?
Get her back.
And the inventor he invented it for fishing poles because his fishing pole fell in the water.
Oh, that's awesome!
They made it for drones now. We literally just Velcro it on the leg, and
excellent.
That's it. So
that's
like a little bit of insurance. Yeah, your drone's going to be wrecked, but hey, at least you'll get it back, and you get the memory card out. And you can at least make the insurance claim.
Drone back.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Rondell has a question.
So Rondell says, anyone know a good drone insurance in Canada? Well, I think that the insurance that that Kevin is talking about is when you buy the DJI drones and you activate them, there is a care refresh package that comes with it, right? So buy it. It's only a fraction of the cost, right? For
Yeah.
example, on my Air 2S, I paid $60 for care refresh for 2 years. But what it gives me is that whenever your drone breaks, as long as you can recover that drone, DJI will replace it. Right. So if you guys remember a couple of months ago, I was working here and I accidentally knocked my Air 2S down and the arm broke. I returned it and within a week I got a brand new one. Right. So that's what he's talking about. As long as you can recover the drone physically and you have bought the DJI Care Refresh, then chances that they are going to replace it for you.
It's great.
If you lose it or crash it in the water, you're not getting the insurance. You have to mail your one back.
Talking liability, just do a Google search on drone insurance, and you can find liability coverage. There's a whole bunch of companies that offer it.
I have Skywatch for liability.
Yeah, I don't have any liability, but I don't do any commercial stuff with mine.
Yeah, I've done a few like car dealership commercials and multi-million-dollar houses. I'm like, I'm gonna get a liability insurance in case I crash into this brand new Ford Mustang over here.
Yeah, in your case, it makes sense.
In your case, because you're doing commercial work, right? So
yeah, I just did a car dealership like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, good thing I have it. They lined up all their brand new Mustangs out front and all their cars.
Solid, man.
Just in case.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think it's that expensive.
Yeah, and they have drone insurance liability you could pay per flight.
Per hour. Yeah.
Yeah, per hour. So, hey, I'm flying here for this hour, and it calculates where you are, and if there's, it fluctuates depending on where you are. But
yeah, that's cool.
But I just bought a yearly one. But yeah, you could buy if you're only doing a couple a year, you could just be, hey, I'm flying here for the next hour. It's like $10, $11. And you're covered for like $1 million.
I just did a Google search, and the top one that came back was Skywatch on-demand drone insurance for as low as $5 an hour.
Solid.
Liability coverage. So you can get annual, monthly, or hourly plans.
Oh, that's cool, actually.
So
and that covers, if you buy the yearly one, it covers the drone too. So I have the Care Refresh, but I also have it through Skywatch. So in case I do lose the drone, that's covered.
That's cool.
Nice.
Good one, man. Skywatch.
Yep.
Our sponsor for this show tonight.
Skywatch and DJI.
Yeah,
I wish.
All right, so guys, very important. Just know that if you're buying a drone, DJI, I must say, is one of the companies that I will always recommend their kind of that warranty plans and stuff. Most companies I don't bother because when it's time for you to claim, you have to go through hoops and loops to get it done. From my experience with DJI, they honor their warranties and their care refresh stuff really well. And trust me, I've used them for a lot of different stuff. So they're really good. But that aside, always make sure that you're following the safety rules. Your drones are registered. You yourself have a license if needed. And don't do crazy stuff, right? Just use common sense. Most of the drones license rules and stuff are just basic common sense that if we all follow, it becomes safer for ourselves as well as any other drone pilots out there who wants to fly, right? Don't go flying in the red zones when you know you're not supposed to.
Please follow the rules because it's so easy for Transport Canada or FAA to just say, okay, fine, no more. If you're all just going to screw around, no more. They're now illegal.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the biggest things too, there's a new rule in the US is flying at night. Anyone could fly at night now, but you have to have a strobe light on top so you can see it for 3 miles. That's the biggest thing I see people too. Is the new people, it has the little lights on it, the little LED lights on it. Mm-hmm. That's not what you need to fly at night. Yeah, I think you could see it, but you got to have a strobe light on it that you can see up to 3 miles. And those are like $50. You just Velcro right on top. And
Nice.
Cool.
Well, I'm getting ready to fly again because I haven't flown in a long time. But this Saturday, I'm definitely flying at the place where we're going, guys.
Oh, the Stillwell?
Well, before everybody comes, because I don't want all the other guys coming in. Oh, why we not? Yeah, I'm going there early.
Yeah, because we don't want drones going over.
before we start the workshop.
Can you, Evans? Do you mind sharing that screen I just put up?
Oh, let me see. Where is my sharing? Oh, here we go. There we go.
So Canada has made it very easy. So this is basically, in a nutshell, very quickly, the most general rules that you have to follow. You know, right there, 30 meters above bystanders, 122 meters high, which is 400 feet, nothing around airports, blah, blah, blah. So it's a nice quick way just to look at it, and it's right there.
Where'd you get this from? Transport Canada?
I'm going to give the links to Evans so he can put them all underneath the show. So
Nice.
it's all on the Canada Transport website.
Yes,
And
just post it in the private chat, and I'll put them in there
okay.
under the video right away.
Should do a live test on the show. See how much we know.
Yeah, no. I don't do tests at night.
You don't do tests on that. Multiple choice. We'll do it like Kevin. It's like we'll just tell you the answer.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give Evans a bunch of links so that anybody can go back and look from the Canadian side. It's too much for me to read off to you if you go actually to the pages and stuff, but the information is all there. You just have to take the time to read it and get to know it.
Throw up the map.
Why don't you put up the map of the GTA?
Oh, yes, the map where we cannot fly.
I'm curious about the map.
Yeah.
I know this map all too well.
Yeah.
I've spent way too much time staring at
Yeah.
it.
And one thing I would say is that always rely on this map and not the map on your drone.
No.
Because sometimes that drone map is outdated.
Yes.
And there's times on the drone map where it won't let you take off, where I know I'm legally allowed to fly. There was one time I was trying to get a flight, and it says, you can't fly here. I'm like, yes, I can. And I had to like unlock it. And
had that happen 2 weeks ago to Andre and I.
Yeah, we're in an area. I knew I checked the map 100%. I could fly, but the DJI thing wouldn't let me take off. And I was like, oh.
Can you zoom into Ontario?
Okay, so let's go here. Oh, yeah, I have to do it this way. So, okay, so everybody, if this is the Canada map, come on. Now, anything in red, you cannot fly. And let's zoom in here into Ontario a little bit more. And especially
Oh, there's
Toronto.
a lot of red.
Oh.
So now,
okay,
this is the GTA area. You've got Mississauga, Brampton, Toronto, North York, Markham.
And is that because of the airport?
Yes.
Toronto Airport, Buttonville Airport, Island Airport.
And you got all these different
Brampton Airport.
You got Buttonville. You got the Island. So
all
this
the hospitals.
When was it? Back in early 2020. This was actually smaller, and they actually increased the no-fly zone. So now this is an interactive map. So anybody can go to this.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can go on here and click.
Mm-hmm.
And it tells you controlled zone airspace, basic operations are not permitted.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you cannot fly here. The only way you can fly here is if you have an advanced license and get permission.
Mm.
So all those photos that you're seeing, no.
The bluffs are okay, Rondell.
Now,
The bluffs are actually just outside.
if I go into here,
The bluffs. Oh.
so you can actually start flying at the RC Harris water treatment plant, and then go down to the Scarborough Bluffs. And the only other area, stop. Yeah, I know. The only other area where you can fly is this little section of Toronto.
What is this?
At
Sam Smith.
Sam Smith Park.
Ah.
There's only a little bit. You got to be careful, though. You don't want to fly into the no-fly zone.
It's the Bermuda Triangle of
Yeah.
drones.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to let everybody know that saying, hey, Toronto is pretty...
it's locked down, man.
It's pretty controlled airspace, yeah.
So...
basically, every hospital with a heliport is a 1 kilometer circle. Automatically.
And airports are basically 5 kilometers from out.
Yeah.
And I think there are a couple of spots. Actually, Mississauga actually has a lot more spots you can fly than in Toronto.
Yes.
But you still need to be careful of that map. Make sure you're not.
This is what I call your drone Bible. If you're not sure about flying somewhere, go to the map.
Rondell. Yeah.
Go to the map, check it out, and just be sure, because it's not worth the hassle. Now, all these yellow spots, these are actually little airports all over. But they're yellow for a reason. So now if I go and click on here, aerodrome, drone operations are permitted within the zone indicated by the yellow filled space. Caution is advised, however, due to potential air traffic. So yes, you can fly. They just want you to be aware that these are airports, they're active, and planes might be in the area.
Yeah, they're basically in line with the runways at small airports.
Yeah. So all the information is here. So you can click on any one of these. It'll tell you what it is. If you wanted the details, it gives you all the technical details of the airport, blah, blah, blah. Airport code. So
Rondell asked if this applies for sub 250 drones as well, and yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
The red zone is a red zone no matter what.
Yeah.
So sub 250, it doesn't matter. You still can't fly there.
No.
Sub 250, as we said at the top of the show, sub 250 is only, you don't have to register and you don't need a license.
Yep.
But it would still be considered a basic operation, and you're not allowed to fly in a red zone.
Now, if you go up to Tobermory thinking I'm out in the country here, I'm out beautiful area.
Bam, national park.
These are all national parks. These are... You cannot fly here unless you have permission. It tells you right there. So there again, you'd have to go through the websites, apply for your permission.
And like we said at the beginning, Parks Canada is really good.
Yeah.
So
it's weird seeing that, because the U.S. is a little bit different as far as the maps go. Like, you could go onto the app on their phone. You could be in one of those like red areas on the phone, and you go on, hey, I'm going to fly here, and they'll give you a ceiling. So the closer you are to the airport, they'll say, okay, you can only go up 100 feet. But the further away you get, you'll say, okay, go up to 400 feet.
Really?
And you can get authorization. It takes about 5 to 10 seconds.
That's how it used to be.
Yeah. Even if you're a recreational pilot.
Yeah, it used to be that you could do that, but they just locked down the airspace here. See, too many people screwing around.
Yeah.
Too many people not following the rules.
A lot of Brampton, where I'm actually moving the cursor. Crazy. You could fly there because it was yellow, but when Transport Canada expanded a bunch of areas, that was one of the areas that they turned red. And it kind of shot me and Bryan down, because there was still lots of stuff we wanted to shoot here in Brampton, but not right now.
And I personally have no intention of getting my advanced. I don't fly enough to justify it.
I was going to last year, but what happened, I haven't done it yet, so...
Yeah, I've thought about the advanced. I just hated how much I have to spend to get that advanced, including that exam review and stuff. So I just didn't bother with it.
So again, with this map, I will give it to Evans, and we will post the link so anybody can go to this. So it's probably one of the most visited apps I use on my phone. I go to that website all the time just to be sure, and it's there. Use the tool.
It's handy.
So
sweet.
I just wish more people actually used it.
Yeah, some people may not even know about it.
But see,
If you've got your license, you know about it.
You can't claim ignorance here because this is a federal thing. So
Yeah.
I don't use that. You can't use
when
that.
when you do your basic license, it talks about it and it shows you where to get to the maps. So
Yeah.
you can't really claim you don't know about this.
No, ignorance doesn't work here.
No.
It's weird. Like I said before, in the States too, we have these maps and it says you're good to go, but then you got to look at the state law too. It's like if I go on where I live now, it says, oh, you could fly here. According to the federal government, I could fly here because they're only worried about the airspace. But the local state level says, yeah, you could fly there, but you can't launch or land here. So
that's what provincial parks are here. You cannot take off or land in a provincial park, but you can fly over a provincial park. You just can't take off or land in it. So I could park just outside it, fly over, and fly back just fine.
But you got to maintain visual line of sight, though.
Yeah.
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 So what's the deal with stock drone footage? Because for example, I use Storyblocks a lot, and there's a lot of drone footage in Toronto. So how do people basically beside the CN Tower? So how do people get that footage? Do they just do it illegally, or do they get permission to get it?
Well, you can legally get permission to fly. The rule says there are certain places, even if it's close to the airport and you want to fly, you need there's a procedure where you contact the what do you call it, the flight control and Transport Canada, and you get exemptions to fly in those areas. So some people can be doing it legally by getting that exemption process to be able to go fly in some of these areas. But majority of people flying on Instagram and posting crazy stuff. I don't doubt they ever went through that process.
No, because I've actually called a couple guys out and
name names, Andre. Name names.
No, I'm not going to name names, but I question their ethics, and it's
we want
it's
names.
Questionable. So no, I won't do that. Not here, but it's not right because it is very serious. You
can be charged criminally, right? You can be charged criminally.
You could.
Criminal offense.
And the fines, if you actually go on the website, there are a list of fines that you can be subject to if caught. So
not cheap, right?
No,
I was saying there's a guy in the States. They've kind of wanted to make an example out of him. They fined him $190,000. Whether he paid it or not, I don't know. He was going on and on how he can't afford this and that.
He's still doing it.
But then he went on today and broke the laws today. It's
God, what?
You know they're probably watching them hard though. So.
Oh yeah.
No, so that's what you know. What I can ethically say that the footage I have has all been taken from legit spots. I don't. Everybody pushes the capabilities of their drone a bit, but I haven't done anything illegal. So
don't come after me.
No, because everything's tracked. If you actually go and if they go into your metadata and stuff, they know exactly where you were, where your drone's been.
Who, Transport Canada?
Yeah, if they wanted to, they could get all that info. It's
So I don't know if you have this in Canada, but I know in the US in 3 years they're having what's it called? It's to my tongue. Where they're going to be able to see where you are. You're going to have to, it's like a law. They have to transmit your location and where the drone is. And the police or local law enforcement have the ability to see where you are as a pilot and where the drone is, how high it's going, how fast it's going.
Radar?
It's here too.
Radar.
It's
what's the name of it?
Some sort of location
remote ID.
Remote ID, yes. So
Yeah.
the Air 2S, my drone has it. It has that remote ID where there's a field in there in the software where you can also punch in your Transport Canada registration number. And so your remote ID, every drone has that remote ID, and it will start transmitting it so that in case the police have the right tools, they can pinpoint this guy is flying unsafe. Where did he take off from? Right? All that data now becomes available on the flight.
And now there's third-party companies that, I know in Baltimore, or at least the Baltimore Ravens and the a lot of major sports teams are buying this company's software, and they put it into the stadium. So if people are flying a drone over the stadium, it gets all their data, it jams the signal, it picks up what the DJI transmitter is sending out, so they know who's sending it, where the drone is, and then it jams a signal and stops the drone from flying over the stadium. So, but I know all the NFL stadiums that I heard are putting this in. They tested it at the Baltimore Ravens here, and then I think the Baltimore Orioles and some other national football teams and stadiums are putting it in, because I know last year, it was like the playoffs, someone flew a drone right over Yankee Stadium during a game, and they had to pause the game, and you got to go in. It's like a huge ordeal. So
man.
Well, that was like, I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was 2020, 2019. Somebody flew a drone over Pearson, which is Canada's busiest airport, and it shut the airport down. I work by the airport, and it was just, all these cops were going nuts, and I don't think they actually found the person, but it's very serious the ramifications of what you think are innocent just by flying over. You'll shut a whole airport down, and it costs a lot of money. And
would you want to be on a plane where one of those gets sucked in the engine on your landing?
God no.
Just think what happened to that one that had to land in the Hudson, and that one got lucky.
That one got lucky.
Yeah.
So, and drones are usually more solid than birds are.
And it's like the big commercial airliners, like that's one thing. But if you hit like a little like prop plane or something, that could do some serious.
It's only got one. It has no fallbacks.
Yeah, exactly.
That propeller, it's just gonna fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's times too, like I was flying in Baltimore and I got the approval from the FAA. I'm good to go. I was flying in the city and controlled airspace. But for whatever reason, there was still a police helicopter flying around, and you still got to yield to manned aircraft. Even though I had the proper permission, I was good to go. There was still a police helicopter circling around, and I was flying kind of at night, so I put the strobe light on it. So he definitely saw me flying the drone. So I just landed. I brought it down. I waited for him. He kept circling. I think he was messing with me, but he was literally just circling and circling and circling. Like I waited for him to leave for me to get my shot. But.
Really? Did you get the shot?
I did, yeah. But I'm like, oh, damn, the sun's setting. I was like, right after sunset. I'm like, yeah. So that's why I had the strobe on there. So I'm trying to do everything legally.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of the police don't think you have the proper authorization because so many people break the laws that they're like, this guy probably doesn't have permission. So.
Yeah. So where's one place you guys want to fly? I'll throw it to Kevin. Like, where's one place that you want to fly your drone legally?
I want to go to Europe. I want to start going internationally. Like I took my drone another thing, I took it to Aruba. You probably saw some of my pictures, but having my license in US, I was able to send it to them, and they gave me permission to fly up to 400 feet there. So having your license here, and actually I'm going on a cruise in September, and I've already reached out to Royal Caribbean's PR team, and they're like, yeah, you can normally you can't fly a drone on their private island in the Bahamas, but I got permission to fly there. I showed them my license, and they're like, as long as you register it with Bahamas and get the proper permission with the Bahamas government. So I got all that squared away. So now I'm going to be flying on the private island in the Bahamas. So
wow,
the PR team's like, yeah, we'll escort you off the cruise ship, and you'll get, So
it's amazing the concessions people will make if you just ask and do it the right way.
Yeah. So,
nice, man. Congrats.
Awesome. So we have
overseas. I want to go overseas. To answer your question, I want to go overseas and start going Iceland and
100%.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
100%.
So we have a few minutes, but before we sign off, if you guys have any drone shots you had queued up to share, this would be good to share a few example shots, and then.
So again, I don't know if you saw my story last week. I'm actually a finalist in the International Sienna Drone Contest Awards in Siena, Italy. So I have two of my photos actually the finalist. I'm like, holy crap! It's like
really? Can you show
I didn't think I would get one of them. But
you said Siena, Italy? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's in Siena, Italy. Yeah.
Nice.
The winners haven't been announced yet, so I can't tell you which photos yet. But I have two of them that are in the finals. So I'm like,
when are you gonna know? When is the contest?
They said I'll know by the end of the month, and then the festival's in October.
So if you win, you're going.
I might. I have to pay my own way, but I'm like, I'll go to Italy. Like,
solid, man.
It's a struggle.
I'll tell you, one of them's from Aruba.
Solid. Hope you win.
And then the other one's from Yankee Stadium. So I'm not going to say which one's though.
Okay. All right.
Congrats.
Good luck. Good luck.
Nice.
Good luck.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So I can show you the one I was getting yelled at by a security guard.
Yeah,
on my
show that
website.
one. Show that one.
Yeah,
We like,
let's
How do you show
do
we
your
like,
screen
we
here?
like, we like being yelled at security guards in the show.
Share screen.
What?
There's a whole bunch of drone photos on the Open Shutter IG as well.
Yeah.
So this is the one I was getting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Solid,
So, I don't know,
man.
I was trying to do it legally and take off from this parking garage over here. And security guard's like, you're on private property, you can't fly here. I'm like, whatever. So I literally just went into the street. And did it. So
Solid. Nice shot, man.
these are some of my Ruba ones.
Very nice.
I like that. I dig them. Sweet. If you need drone footage, Kevin's your guy. He's got the drone Bible in his backpack, laminated. I love it. Andre, you gonna show something?
Yeah, right here.
No.
I like shooting a lot in the winter. It's
Yeah.
damn cold flying in the winter, though. Your hands get numb.
Battery dies faster.
But the perspective you get, and these like with the long shadows, this is looking straight down at a bunch of trees, and that shadows you get. I don't know. It just
Crazy, man.
I think I know exactly where you took this too.
yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Great shot.
So I don't know. I just love the perspectives you get from a drone. It's just I can't rent the airplane right now, so this is the next best thing, Throw your drone up and
That would actually make a nice fine art shot if it was rotated counterclockwise 90 degrees.
Yeah.
It'd be a nice fine art shot. I like it.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Like it's a little bit trippy, but it's cool.
yeah.
You have a fence one that I really like too that you did in the winter that I remember. That you did up near Hillsburg. Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you got
cool.
you got the fence, but then you also have some of the shadows, making the fence kind of look 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
that's cool, man.
It messes with your head. I love it.
Yeah, it does.
it's just damn cold. Your hands, oh my god.
Yeah. And your battery life.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Cool, man.
So
Trying to find some of my winter ones from the winter.
Maryland.
I haven't flown. I haven't flown in the winter yet, just because I'm naturally not a fan of winter. I hate being cold.
I'll take plus 30 any day. Plus 30 over minus 30 any day.
and I don't know, but I don't know if you guys can see this.
Kinda. What does that say? What is
This
it?
is DJI stats.
Ah,
I don't know if it'll focus, but I've got a
Yep.
what? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it tells you the nice thing about the DJI. It tells you I've combined over the time of I've had the drone, 127 hours. I've flown 1,402 meters.
wow.
I've had 848 flights.
How many crashes? 0?
How many hours?
127.
Wow. Beat me.
Well, okay,
How many?
I've had one crash. And
Not my fault.
No. And this is because DJI and Android were having problems, and my drone just did its own thing, and it ran into a train, and the train won.
Right. The train story. Yeah.
Did you get it back at least?
But I got it in a bunch of pieces, and actually DJI was very good. I mailed it to them. I didn't have the care refresh at the time. Everything had run out, and they sent me a brand new one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because they knew, because with this app, you can upload all your data,
Yeah.
And they know from the behind the scenes they had a problem, so they sent me a new drone. So
shout out to DJI.
No, they were very good about it. So
we won't discuss how many times I've crashed.
Nice photo, Kevin.
Thanks. I'll show you one of my favorite ones too. Oh, what's that? I didn't mean to do that.
Jeez. Like, I want to go to this ski resort.
This is one I got just a couple weeks ago. The beach here.
Nice.
Whoa.
I had to wake up at like 4:30 in the morning for this one, but
yeah,
right before the sun came up.
Sky's on fire, man.
Yeah, I'm a drone beginner, but I'll share something. I went out. This was just a couple months ago. I was playing around at nighttime. I wanted to test the
light trails.
The sensor of the. Yeah, it wasn't really that great because it was COVID time, and I was expecting that at that time there would be some amount of traffic. There wasn't too much traffic, but managed to get a few little trails in there.
That's cool, man.
The longest,
fortunately for me, I live right at the border of the map, so so I'm able to fly northward. Yeah, yeah.
I've been out with Bryan. I've been out with Bryan at night, and I've pulled off 8-second long exposure with my drone. It's pretty awesome, actually.
There's actually, I wonder if I can find the star shot we did with your drone.
It's kind of amazing that this thing can sit there in the air that long, that steady, that you can have your shutter open for that long. I find it awesome.
Yep. So if you can see this one, this was at a 7-second exposure.
Nice.
Just sitting there in the air because it was really dark. So I could have bumped up the ISO, but I wanted to clean it as I can get. So I went all the way down 7 seconds of exposure. And it was amazing how sharp it is for a 7-second exposure on a drone that is hovering, right?
Yeah, I know. Worth it.
Yeah.
I got to share this other photo too. Evans.
Where'd he go?
He's here.
Okay. Now this.
Oh, the other drone.
Okay, this wasn't taken by a drone. This was actually taken with a normal camera, but we used the drone because my drone has a light on the bottom.
To light.
Right here.
Yeah.
Where is it? Right here.
Yeah.
It actually has two LED lights. So actually, I flew the drone over and painted the church with light, and we've done that to several houses too. So it's a cool way to use your drone that way as well. So
that's a cool shot, man.
So
that's cool.
So
I have a Sue lined up soon to do some light painting stuff with the drone. So
nice.
He does all like you guys do with the light stuff, but he wants me to use the drone and put some lights on it and
it
do
works
some cool
well.
halos and
We've done it. It works. we've actually dangling steel wolf from a drone is a lot of fun.
And smoke grenades.
And smoke grenades from the drone. Yeah, we've done that too.
So, cool. I don't know. It's just fun. It's just what you can do with it. Don't limit yourself. Let your creativity go. And
the biggest thing I learned too, most of the best shots aren't, when you first get it, you want to take it up 400 feet to the maximum you can do. But usually the best shots are under 100 feet or really close to the ground. It's just you're getting angles you can't get from the ground. But even if it's 50 feet in the air, it's still better. But the first thing a lot of people do when they get a drone, I'm taking it as high up as I can go and take a picture of everything. And like, all right, cool, but you can't see anything.
No, that's so true, though.
So true.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, guys. So, any last minute advice? Last words before we.
Last words from me. Thanks, Kevin, for coming. Thanks, Andre, for the Canadian info. I got to get my drone out more. Maybe. I don't know. I'm surprised it still flies. But, and, I'm not an avid pilot, so it's just nice to see other people's drone stuff. That's
you guys do the work.
I'll fly for you, man. It's okay.
Thanks, Andre.
Yeah. I've actually done model shoots with drones too. So
Yeah.
I actually found one of those shots while I'm looking for the
I had
star
one of them
shot.
published with the modeling I did.
Anyone else? Last words?
Well,
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it. Like,
Anyone else?
now you got me wanting to find my modeling shots. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks to Kevin for coming on and giving us the U.S. perspective, and thanks for everybody for watching. And if you do get a drone, have fun, practice, and just obey the laws. And
Omni's gonna come find you.
no, I don't want to seem like a dickhead, but you know,
Okay, let it out, man. Let it out. This is a safe place.
it just pisses me off that all these guys get away with stuff, and it's like, I want to shoot stuff too, but it's
No, hear you.
I don't know.
Oh, here we go. I found it.
So thanks
This is the
for
one I
everybody.
published here.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Brooke McIntosh. Shout out Brooke McIntosh.
There, I found it just quickly. This shot of Orion. That's Orion shot with a drone.
Nice.
Well, I think I see Meeks there.
Beautiful.
It was a cloudy night. We just wanted to see if we could actually do it. So
Yeah.
that's Orion with a drone.
Shout out DJI.
Yeah, good stuff. That was 5-second exposure at ISO 1600.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it works, man. Jeez. Going to space and
Reasonably
drone.
sharp too. So
Yep.
yeah. Anyway,
All right.
Cool.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks, everyone.
Kevin.
Thank you.
Always fun to have you on. Really appreciate you being here with us.
100%.
And thank you guys in the chats for hanging out with us this
Thanks,
Wednesday night again.
everyone.
Hopefully we get to reschedule the sports photography soon.
we are.
And we'll let you know. Stay tuned, and we will post what we're discussing next week on our IG. So go follow the Open Shadow IG, so you know what's coming up next.
I have another guest probably late August, so but I'm not going to say.
Don't say.
it's going to be a good show, though.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really good show.
So
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you all
Jessica.
for
Thanks.
being with
Thanks,
us.
Jess.
We
Later.
appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Wendell.
All right. Good night.
See you next week.
yeah.
Peace.
Good night.